Yeah. Yes, people. Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome back to the Manc Talk. We are here. We're live in the building. We got Lewis from City Extra. What are you telling him, bro?
Been a good week for me, mate. Been a mega week, man. Had a pretty wild Premier League game last weekend.
I don't remember that. What happened? Let me know.
Honestly, pretty wild. You know, this team, that's honestly, right, basically this team is stuck in the past, right, and they keep making the same mistakes year after year after year. And all they ever do is talk about their history and all that. And it's pretty mad, bro. You wouldn't believe how bad they are right now, yeah. And we just scored 6 goals past them like we was playing a League 2 side, bro. So that was pretty decent. And then we moved to the Champions League. That's the Champions League, you know, the champions, that one. And we won 5-0 in that as well. Do you know what I mean? So pretty decent. What about you, bro?
Listen, I don't know, man. Last weekend was a blur. I don't know, man. I've just woke up this weekend, so you know what I mean.
Did you get the weekend or what? Did you get a big win or what happened in your game?
Listen, we got absolutely obliterated. If that's even a word, people, let me know in the comments. But we got obliterated.
Do you take back everything that you said in that predicted 11? Do you know that combined 11 that we did? You got to take back everything, bro.
Well, you know what it is, like. I don't know, man. Derby Day gasses me up too much, man. I got too giddy. You know what I mean? We have the saying in on Saeed TV is that do not let Saeed get giddy. And I got giddy, and certain man went missing, man. Haaland is not a human. Foden ran the show. It's a special team, man, and a special manager. And you guys are light years ahead of us. I've said that. I've come to terms though. Like City are light years ahead of us. It's one of them.
You know what though? I want to just ask you because I made some big statements, and in that combined 11, I've said this isn't just because United bought him. I said this for years. Varane is overrated in my opinion, and I think he was poor. He was poor in the derby. Eriksen, I said he was poor. I said he was overrated, and he was shocking. You know what I mean? Now, come on, bro. They had shockers in the derby, both of them. Eriksen for the first goal. How bad he did not track Foden, but he's so lazy.
But Bruno, what's he doing? Leaving the midfield wide open. He's the other one that for me, you could easily say is overrated because at the end of the day, it's not producing, man. And
he just moans, innit?
He moans all the time. Moans. How about you do something, Bruno? But listen, you know what it is for me? Like, I just want to hope that game was a blip. I want to hope that game was just a one-off. because Man City are just that good of a team. Man City could do that to everyone. Come on, everyone. But the thing is, we can't let that affect us. We've got Everton coming up. We've got a lot of big games coming up here. If that affects us, like, mentally, you only got to see last night we went 1-0 down. Look how it took us to get in our rhythm. We needed a half time and then go on there. So, but for me, man, we were just awful, man. Absolutely awful. You know what I mean? At the minute, you know what I mean? Like I said, we've had 4 wins on a bounce. We've lost that game. And it's one of them. We just have to hold it. And Man City were just far superior in every single level.
Well, the thing is, bro, do you know in the 4 games that you won, yeah? So I'm looking at it, right? So you got panned 4-0 off Brentford, right? Then you beat Liverpool, which is a derby game. Anything can happen in them sort of games. And they're not playing at their top level right now. You then beat Southampton 1-0, right? And that wasn't a convincing game. You beat Leicester City, were bottom of the league, 1-0. And you beat Arsenal, and on that day, Arsenal were very, very good, and you got them on the counter-attack. Then you got beat off Sociedad. So I think, you did win 4 games on the trot, but it wasn't convincing 4 wins. Do you know what I mean? And I think maybe the team got a bit too gassed up going into it, and they should have probably played a slightly different way, man. But yeah.
But what can you do when you've got a monster in Haaland? You've got Foden is running around. Like, I get it, but at the same time, I just thought we lacked the basics in terms of pressing. We lacked the basics in terms of, not passing the ball and just give it to Man City. You just don't give the ball to Man City. That's one thing you don't do, Lewis.
But we don't let you have the ball, innit? We dominate possession in so many games, it's untrue. Yeah, there's a question for you now, yeah? Now that you've seen Haaland play against, like, your team, you're watching for the full 90 minutes, yeah? Because obviously before that, you would have seen him when you'd be watching City in a big game, or you've seen him on the highlights. Tell me if for real, yeah? Tell me if on a real, what do you reckon?
He's phenomenal. You know what it is for me? What's scary about him is I don't even think it's about his finishing, it's his runs.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
Nobody's talking about his runs.
Yeah, I've been saying this. Yeah, bro. Fully back that. You know what it is, yeah? So what I've been saying is the sort of story that I'm giving on Haaland at the moment is it's all about the movement. Now, what I'm saying is to people, usually when you get a player like in the 20s, right? They have the pace in it. They have the pace. You look at all the strikers, they all have the pace, and that's what gets them most of the goals. But then when they get into the 30s and they start losing the pace, they have to adapt the game a bit because they ain't got that pace. So then what they do is they become insane goal scorers. For example, if you look at Karim Benzema, always been a fantastic striker, but since he started losing some of that pace and become a little bit slower, he's had to use his brain a little bit more and use his positioning. Now, usually that comes in the 30s. Haaland's already got that right now at 22 years old, but he's got the pace and he's got the talent and just the know-how to finish, mate. It's going to be wild. Though.
You know what's crazy about in Dortmund? Why he's not getting injuries right now is that at Dortmund, he was running with the ball. He was in the play of what Dortmund were doing. At Man City, they're not telling him to do that. They're saying conserve your energy, conserve your power and your body, conserve it for where it matters the most. And that's why he's having less touches but more damaging. And Guardiola has identified that, and that for me is bro. That is for what your guys going to be seeing. You know, what I mean, later on, you might not see the injuries because a lot of it is self-conflicted. Or at Dortmund, he was maybe being everything that they wanted, and obviously they're trying to compete for the league every year, and they probably pushed him to the ground. At Man City,
do you know what they do as well? They play counter-attacking football. I remember seeing some goals on, like, you go on YouTube and watch the 4K highlights, goals and skills. You'll see him like sprinting about 40 yards straight down the middle of the pitch. You know, when they counter-attacking, brush it up. City don't counter-attack. We don't counter-attack like that. Do you know what I mean? He is a tapping merchant, but he's one of the best tapping merchants in the world. And when you combine him with the players like Kevin De Bruyne, then who cares, mate? The guy's probably highly unlikely to score too many goals outside the box. All his goals are going to be in and around the 6-yard area. But at the end of the day, that's what we needed. That's what we needed for the last 2 seasons. And we've got one of the best in the world, man. So how many goals this guy can score, I don't even have a clue.
Well, this is it, man. And you know what it is, yeah? These wages now, are they actually real, these wages? Because, you know what I mean? I've seen a couple of things coming out there or whatnot. But at the same time, they're saying that this is what he's earning at City. Is it actually true though, or is this kind of just like a?
I don't know. Jack Garn said at the moment, with the amount of goals he's getting, with the bonuses, he's earning around £800,000 a week based on the bonuses. But his basic salary is the same as Kevin De Bruyne's, so he's on about 350 grand a week. But his goal bonuses, because he's scoring so many, right now is earning on average around £800,000 a week with the bonuses. So
you know what?
Who cares? Who cares about bonuses?
Yeah, exactly. Who cares? Who cares? It's a guy that's scoring his goal. He deserves it. Like, you know what it is here in life here? If you do something, and it's like when you're in work and you hit a certain sales target, you deserve to get that money. So at the end of the day,
who cares,
you know what I mean? He deserves this money. Like, do you know I'm not hating on this guy. I'm not hating on him.
Anyone who thinks it's dumb is a fool. It's, you know what it is? It's like, do you know transfers? Do you know when you get an add-ons, right?
Yeah.
You can put in whatever add-ons you want, because at the end of the day, if you're paying the add-ons, it's generally because they're playing well for you. So if we have to hand over, say we did a deal with Dortmund, it was 50 million cash, and then it was, I don't know, 100 million pound in add-ons if he scores 100 goals for City in 2 or 3 seasons. Well, obviously that's a fantastic record. So who cares if we have to pay that? I don't care about bonuses. I don't care about add-ons, because at the end of the day, you're only paying them if they're doing well.
Yeah, he's doing well. So, and I feel like, to me,
pay him some more.
Yeah, well, there you go. I feel like it's one of them situations where he's put that in his contract. He's realized he's going to be the main man there. He believes in his ability, and he's gone there thinking, you know what, I can smash this record. So it's one of them. Like, it just shows you what kind of character this guy is, man. He's a machine. Like, he knows he's going to get goals, and he's scoring now. He's got 90 goals now in the league in terms of all competitions. How many goals?
90. I think it's 19. Yeah. I'll get the stats up now, actually, but it's difficult to you know what I mean. It's difficult to remember. He's on 19 goals, 3 assists in 12 games, including community.
You know what I was talking about it on the thingy for yesterday. He can score to break the record. Yeah, he needs to score, I think, in the next 15 games and have the next 17, and he can relax for the next 17. Do you know that?
It's
not. So all he needs to score is a goal in every other game for the next 15 games, and the next 17 after that, he can relax. Just
you know what?
People.
You know what he's also going to do? He's also going to break the Premier League record when it was a 42-game season as well.
Andy Cole
and Shearer, 34. Yeah. It'll beat that. So this guy isn't just going to set the Premier League record with a 38-game season. He's going to do it with the 42-game season, something that even Mohamed Salah couldn't do when he was in his prime. So mate, he's absolutely frightening. His positional play, his movement inside the penalty area is absolutely wild. And I say this, he had 11 touches against Copenhagen and scored 2 goals. So you know what it is. It very much reminds me. I remember watching. Go
on.
Yeah, just quickly on this one. I remember watching Match of the Day. It was a few years ago, but used to say the same thing, and it used to be Shearer who used to always say this, and he used to analyze strikers when they were going through like a bad patch of form. And what you see from strikers when they're going through a bad patch of form is they're always trying to get involved in the game. So they'll drop deep, they'll try and get on the ball, in the middle of the pitch, they'll pass the ball to try and get involved. And Shearer always used to say on Match of the Day that if you're going through bad form as a striker, the best thing that you can do is not get involved and stand in the penalty area, goal lang, and wait for the ball to drop at your feet. And Haaland is perfect proof to everyone that you don't need to get involved. Remember when people were saying that his build-up play was shit, so he's going to struggle in the City side?
Well, everyone. Yeah, I said that as well. I thought technically-wise, would he be able to kind of compete in this league?
Well, first of all, his build-up play from what I've seen so far at City is perfectly fine. And 2, even if it's not fine, he doesn't get involved in build-up play anyway because he's there to score goals. He stands in the 6
that's a bit mad, though? You only have 11 touches in a game.
Yeah.
You're going to be a bit rusty. You're not going to be you're not involved in the game as much. So therefore, if you were to have one chance, you'd be a bit nervous, wouldn't you? But he's actually the opposite. He just needs one chance, and it's in basically.
Well, I think what you've got to have to do, that Saeed, bro. I think you've got to have supreme mental strength, because he's stood there, and sometimes, bro, he might stand on the football pitch for 10 minutes, 15 minutes without touching the ball. But he knows that in his head, it doesn't matter how many touches he has on it. He could touch the ball 50 times, but ultimately, if he doesn't score, he's not helping the team win the game. So his main thing is, I need to stay in the position where I can impact the game, and by me impacting the game, it's me putting the ball in the back of the net, man. And that's what he's doing. He's slamming at the moment. He's exceeded everyone's expectations, even any City fan that was gassing him up before we signed him, no one expected him to do this, and it doesn't look like a fluke. I don't know how you stop him. In fact, you don't stop him. You have to
sign that. You want to sign a petition for us? There's apparently a petition going around.
I've seen it, bro. 1.8 million people, mate. 1.8 million. 1.8 million.
What's wrong with people though? How sad are people? Seriously, like, okay, I don't like Haaland, but bloody hell, man, how do 1.8 million people go on that and sign it? Like, oh my days.
You know what you have to do though, Saeed, right? So I've been thinking about this. How would you stop Erling Haaland? And you know the answer is you don't stop Erling Haaland, because if you stop Erling Haaland, if your thought is how do I stop Erling Haaland, you've already made the first mistake.
Not even Forest stuff.
Nah, it was Bournemouth.
Oh, was it Bournemouth? Yeah, Bournemouth. What did they do?
4-0. Well, I don't know exactly what they did, but what you have to try and do, you have to try and stop Kevin De Bruyne. But then you've got to deal with Foden, you got to deal with Grealish, you got to deal with Mahrez, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva. Honestly, Bray, this season we're going to win it all, man.
Hey!
Is
Yo, you need to put a little theme tune on that one. Don't Marco.
Quad soon come, I'm telling you.
Listen, man, you know what? Let's see, man. You never know. This team is playing well. And you know the crazy thing about it? You're not even coming out of first gear now. You know what I mean? You're just still literally relaxing. You're not doing what you need to do in it. Like, you're just still playing with emotions. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I don't know. But you know. You know you got yourself clicked, you know that, Lewis. I didn't even tell you to say that, but you just said that. So.
It's chilling. Factual information, mate. It is, bro. Honestly, on the real, I slammed 10 quid on it, bro, at the start of the season, man.
How much you get returned?
I don't know, man. I think it's like 350, something like that. I can't remember now.
That's shit, that though, when you think about it. That should be a bit more higher.
Because people think that we're going to do it. Do you know what I mean? I also had Erling Haaland to score 5 left-footed, 5 right-footed, and 5 headers. That returns me 340, 350. Pay me out now, innit? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this guy's a freak. And people are starting to realise that Erling Haaland is going to be a generational football player, just like Haaland, just like Ronaldo, and just like Messi. He's going to get those sort of numbers, man. He is.
Yeah, no, 100%, man, 100%. Nah, listen, you know what? People saying there, big up to Tyrone, by the way. There's over 400 of you in the chat, man. Let's get the likes up, people, man. Let's get them likes up. Say laughing too hard, City. Yo, listen, if they do that, yeah, best believe I am taking a long trip and I'm not coming back to Manchester all summer. Best believe that. Nobody will hear from me. Yeah? Nobody will hear from me. I even think if you guys win the Champions League, I might not sleep that night. I might
on a real, yeah. That obviously the quads stretching, but I think the Champions League this year, and I've said this for the last few years, but I think our team is now complete, bro. I think we win the Champions League this year, you know.
Yeah.
I genuinely do.
I looked at the league right now. Bayern don't look convincing. Liverpool don't look convincing. Who looks convincing? Man City, really. Even PSG, I would say they always crumble at a certain end, you know what I mean? I think Man City are clear favourites. They are. I don't think there's anyone out there that are playing at that intensity, at that level, can stop Haaland, can stop De Bruyne. I don't think he can. So you have to believe that you can win it this year. Real Madrid have the pedigree. They have the heritage. But if you guys apply yourselves, you've got Haaland now. You've got a striker.
We slammed them though last year. I know people will be in the chat saying, whatever. We actually slammed them last year. Like the reason we got knocked out last year because we was dumb. We was naive and we was dumb. You know what I mean? And made some silly mistakes. But we absolutely slammed them, man. So you know, I ain't worried about them. I don't even know. Like you asked me who I'm genuinely scared of. It's probably still Liverpool. As bad as they are right now, it's still Liverpool. So, and that's the same with the league. I ain't worried about Arsenal. I'm not worried about none of them. It's always, at the moment, always Liverpool, isn't it?
Yeah. And also, just to touch on the Haaland here, what's going on with this release clause? Because this Fabrizio Romano's come out and said a few things, but then he's backtracked, and then now he's come out with a video.
Okay. I tell you what's going on. Yeah, this is as far as I know it, right? There is no specific release clause linking him to another team, right? I believe he has a release clause. I believe it is active in 2024 and it's probably around 200 million quid. And some reason, some fans are getting already seeing their ass about it.
Why
Who cares? First of all, someone has to pay us 200 million quid. Who's got that money? Second of all, he actually has to want to leave.
Yep.
Right? And third of all, this is just smart business from Haaland. You know, he's run by some of the best business people in the world. He now will have a release clause wherever he goes anywhere. And he'll have a release clause probably, if he stays at City for the next 10 years, he'll still have a release clause in every year to allow him to go, because these top players, they want to make sure that if they want to leave, they aren't arguing. You know what I mean? They can just dip off rapid. So what I'd say to the City fans is, man, just relax, innit? Calmer, enjoy it. Don't start.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, there's a few City accounts that are panicking. But I just think for me, you said it there. He has to want to leave. I'm not gonna lie to you. As much as I want him to leave, yeah, why would you want to leave the Premier League? And you know what I mean? Again, I get La Liga. Understand the fact that Real Madrid have got the heritage and the pedigree. But I still think the Premier League is where most players want to play at. They want to play in the Premier League.
It
Maybe
is
it's the weather and the lifestyle. But I think for me, I was a player. I stayed in the Premier League, but that's just me.
But at the end of the day, sometimes people want to change in it. You know what I mean? People don't want to do the same shit all the time. So me personally, I don't get why some fans are already starting to worry about this. If it happens, it happens. Ronaldo got off from United. United were still fine. You know what I mean? They still went on and won trophies. So who cares, man? You know what it is? It's just like sometimes people can't see a way past the present.
Yeah.
I remember like when we had Vincent Kompany, I was there and I was like, one Vincent Kompany leaves, we're never going to win anything again. That never happened. David Silva, I remember when David Silva left, I thought we were finished. Guys, there's, you know, things move on. Times change. You buy different players, and sometimes you can get even better. We're going to get 200 big ones. So who cares, innit?
Yeah, no, 100%, man. I think it's one of them as well. With Guardiola there as well. Obviously, if he leaves, it might leave the door open in the next 2 years.
Maybe.
Yeah, that could be a possibility. If say now Guardiola goes to, I don't know, Spain or whatnot, he goes to Barcelona, goes back to Barcelona, just for example's sake, then maybe it might tempt him. But I don't know. Right now, I think it's just premature. But it's also these Spanish journalists trying to make stories up now, because Benzema is on probably the last part of his career now. In 2 years' time, they have that player ready. But then they thought Mbappe was ready for them, but he didn't come. He stayed for the money. And money.
Yeah, but you know, like the mad hatter in the chat, live for today, innit? You can't, bro, with life, anything in life, bro, you can't just be sat there in life going, oh, shit, this might happen tomorrow. This might happen in a week. This might happen in a couple of months. Because if you think like that, I tell you, you're going to be depressed, innit? Live for today. Enjoy what you're seeing. What will be, will be. And I'm telling you, even if he does leave, we're still going to get 200 million. We're not going to be buying no one, you know, no crap player. We'll be getting someone equally, well, not probably equally as good, but we'll still get a decent player. You know what I mean? Just relax, calm, enjoy what you're seeing.
This is what I mean. Inspirational LB, man. You know what I mean? Look at the guy's changed, man. You know what I mean? Look at that City fans. You've got a good representative telling you, everyone just relax. Everyone relax. Things will be okay. You know what I mean? And it's not okay for me. So have you got some inspiration for me and for Sancho? Any hopes? You know what I mean? Because everyone wants to talk about Sancho, you know. And I'm like, I'll be honest with you, yeah. I'm a bit pissed off because I feel like people want Sancho to fail. And I think some people want Sancho
who wants United fans?
No, they're not United fans, but I think okay, rival fans are thinking, you know what, Sancho's a flop, this and that. I get that, yeah. But there's a feeling among United fans that they want Sancho to be a player that he isn't. He's not explosive, he's not fast. Yeah. I feel like they're trying to compare him to Rashford a lot. They're trying to compare him to other players. Let Sancho develop. For me, I'm giving him to the end of the season for me to fully judge where, is Sancho working? What's going wrong? And then I'll fully assess it. But right now, let him develop on the Ten Hag. Like, where are you on this Sancho thing now?
This is where I am, yeah. No, I'm going to give you my honest opinion, and I want people to know that I know quite a lot about Sancho. I've seen him play a lot in the academy when he was at City, and then obviously I've seen him a few times when he was at Dortmund. So, my opinion, I believe that the way that Sancho thrives in a team, because of his insane ball control skills and creative talent, is in a team that presses up the pitch high, because he can break down defenses. What I don't think he is, although he did pretty well in Germany, but it is Germany. Yeah. I don't think he's that explosive player that's going to get the ball from the edge of his penalty area and sprint up. You know what I mean? That's more sort of like your Rashfords and that. Now the problem is, Ten Hag was probably the best player for Sancho, in my opinion. Yeah. However, what Ten Hag's done since he's come to United, which he's had to do, he wants to press, but he realizes that he simply doesn't have the players to play that fully pressing game. So he's had to adapt his style, which fair play to him, because not many managers do that. Most managers go, I'm playing the way I want to. He's looked at the players and go, I can't play that way. So what I think you're going to get from Sancho is, and you might not want to hear this, but this is the truth. I think that this season is going to be a slog. I think it's going to be a struggle for him. But then I think when you go through January and you go through the summer, and Ten Hag gets more players in So then next season he can play that possession-based game and that press game that he wants to play. That's when I think Sancho's going to come alive. Unfortunately, I just think that because of the system that Ten Hag's playing, I just don't think you're going to get the best out of Sancho. I think you're going to get the best out of players like Rashford, who started the season really, really good, like Martial, who started the season really well as well. So yeah, for me, I just think Sancho, bro, I think you're going to have to accept the L on him this season. But let me tell you, he's one of the best players that I've ever seen in that academy. So he'll come good at some point.
Yeah, man. And you know what? That's an honest point of view, man. And Sophie Rose, big up to Sophie Rose. I don't know if that's a Sophie Rose I know, though, but big up to you. I think Sancho doesn't suit counter-attacking football. Correct, I personally think he comes good once Ten Hag plays his actual possession football.
Right, you can't just copy what I'm saying, Sophie, innit? Do you know what I mean? Get your own shit. You know what I mean? Coming in and just typing in the chat what I'm saying. Taking my stuff, man.
But you know what it is, though? I think for me, don't get me wrong. Do I want more from Sancho? Of course, I want more from Sancho. Could he play in a different position? Could he play in the number 10 role for you? Has he got the ability to play in that 10 role? Because I feel like maybe it might suit him with the close control and the fact that he can dribble and the fact that he's a good ball carrier. He might be able to fit that role better. Could he mold into that role? Could he?
It's a good question, man. It's a good question. I think it could. But there's no guarantees.
You know like Foden. You know like Foden, yeah?
Yeah.
Right now he's on the wing, yeah. But later on in his career, he might play in that little cam role.
Yeah, but the thing is, Foden started there in the academy. That's where he's always been. He's been pushed out to the wing, whereas Sancho's always been a wing player. I mean, I think he could potentially do it. I think it might be worth a go. Do you know what it is? Yeah, I think when you're playing in games where you're at home and you're playing a game, say you're against like Nottingham Forest, someone like that, I'd play Sancho. But I think in other games where the game might be a bit more stretched and you're against better opposition, then maybe he's not the type of player that you might want in there. Maybe you go for your Rashfords and your Martials. But I think it's just time, bro. I think, unfortunately, the squad, I think Ten Hag's come in. I think he's quickly realised that the team is a lot worse than he thought it originally thought it was.
You know what? It's true.
It's changed.
And so also, we haven't had Martial up front, and people will say, "Oh, Martial, I've heard this story 1,000 times," but he is key to us in terms of that hold-up play, in terms of bringing other people into play. I think it's kind of the worst feeling now for Sancho, thinking, "Bloody hell, I've waited all season for Sancho, for Martial, and as soon as I play a bit of bad form now, all of a sudden." Rashford's back in the team, and now he developed the partnership yesterday, and now he gets an opportunity. It's going to be one of those situations where, like you said, you've got to hold the L, you've got to buy your time, you've got to understand that, you know what, let me work on my game, let me come off the bench. Like, you know what it is here for me, yeah? I think the idea of players coming off the bench and making an impact for them to get into the team, players don't want to do that anymore. They don't like that anymore. Back in the day when I was growing up, like, players would go off the bench and then have a reason to be on the pitch. That's the whole idea of football. You've got to prove yourself to be a starting 11. You've got
front three for United, in my opinion, is Rashford, Martial, Anthony.
There you go. Then a lot of people are saying that now.
However, you know what I mean. I'm not jumping fully on that this Anthony's gonna smash it. I think it appears to me that he needs a rocket up his ass. I think sometimes he's a bit lazy. There's no doubt there's talent there. There's huge talent. You know what I mean? He's fast. He's got trickery, and he's got his finishing ability appears to be.
I know that will come. That will come, and I think
he needs to work harder, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that will come with Ten Hag. He will demand that. He will demand a work rate. He will demand that people track back and help, the fullbacks and whatnot. Nick Toll says, if Sancho and Grealish switched teams, would it work? Well, we really wanted Grealish before we wanted Donny van der Beek. That was a saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted Grealish. Would that be the case? But then I don't know if City would want him back after what happened.
Sancho would 100% work in a City team, 100%. Because, like I say, he's basically that's what Ten Hag's trying to get to. He's trying to get to the way that City play, where we dominate and we're on the edge of the opposition's box. And Grealish, I don't know. Grealish is working at City right now, so I don't really want to say, he would work at United, because it implies that he's not working right now, but he's doing all right. But yeah, that's the front three I'd go for United. And I think you've got to keep Eriksen away deep. You've got to push him up the pitch if you are playing.
Man. We're using him too much, Lewis, man. That's what's a bit worrying me now. Like, we're playing him every game now. Obviously, you know what's happened to him. You know that, you know what I mean? Like I said, I just want, for me, an Eriksen that we're not relying on, because at the end of the day, he was a free transfer, man. Like, why are we relying on?
He wasn't meant to be this guy. He was meant to be the guy that came in and played some games and took the pressure off, like Bruno and all that kind of stuff. But now he's playing every game, and he had a shocking game against City, mate. He was awful. He needs to get up the pitch.
Do you not think that with Eriksen, because they heavily rely on him because of the creativity, Bruno's not giving us that at the minute. We don't really have that player in there that is a creative player, and that's the reason you're gonna have to play him deeper to get that creativity because we don't have that in our team. We were meant to get De Jong. We probably should have bought one other midfielder, and now we're having so big reliant on Eriksen. I just don't hope that he's not burn out. I hope he's not burn out,
bro. You know what I'd try if I was United? Yeah, I'd try this. I'd try Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno, Rashford, Martial, and Anthony. And I'd just go ham, and I'd be like, let's try and win the games, man. And too many, if you look at City, yeah, we don't really play with two in midfield, but a lot of teams these days, look at like Liverpool, they always have like two defensive type. United have done it with like McTominay and Fred. I just try and just full send it. Play Casemiro and just say your job is to protect my defense and just play attacking in with Bruno and Eriksen. Just say your job is to create for my wingers and my striker and just go for it and try and actually play some nice football and go and attack teams and look like you're enjoying your football. Because if you're enjoying your football, they play better because they want to play the football. Whereas for too long, United have played a bit of a weird style where I don't really know what they're trying to do, man. I'd full send it. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, big up to everybody watching, man. There's only 150 likes in it. Let's get the likes up, people. Let's try and push to 200 likes, 250 likes, people. And make sure you guys are subscribing to City Extra, man. They are. What's your next target now?
65,000, bro. We're trying to get to 65,000. We're about 700 off, man. So yeah, if anyone
could go, man. So make sure you guys are in there, man. So it's interesting, man. It's another interesting weekend. We've got Everton on the weekend. Big up to Baba. What's your reaction? We just spoke about that one, but I'll read the super chat regardless. What's your reaction to Haaland on 900k a week from Mike Keegan on Twitter? Check it. He's followed by Fabrizio Ben Jacobs. He breaks big news. Yeah, BA. If you scroll back to the start of the video, we did talk about that one. I don't want to drag it out, but I appreciate the super chat. But yeah, if you want to drag back to the start of the video, we did discuss that. But love for the super chat as always. But yeah, man, I was gonna say it's a big weekend, man. You guys have got Southampton. That should be an easy win. But I think for me, Arsenal are on your coattails. Do you reckon they'll drop off, or is it a big weekend for them as well? Because obviously they've got Liverpool.
I'm trying to convince everybody to back Arsenal this weekend, man. Because let me tell you,
why?
Because, bro, what do Arsenal deserve? Why do Arsenal deserve to be in the conversation? What? Because they top after 8 games. Do you know what I mean? Nah, they do not deserve to be in the conversation yet for the Premier League because it's been 8 games. It's too soon. Come back to me in I don't know, mid.
Is that you speaking from experience in terms of the Premier League is not won at any stage of the season, but at the end. Look at
Chelsea last season, bro. Look at Chelsea last season. They was in the conversation up until Christmas, and then what happened to them? They fell off. The only 2 teams. I'm still worried about Liverpool because Liverpool.
Why? They're not going to go anywhere, man. They're finished.
Nah, you know why, bro? Because they deserve to have that respect. Arsenal do not deserve to have that respect because they've not done anything. It's been 8 matches. Liverpool could quite easily turn this around. If you get to middle of January, end of January, and Arsenal are still there, then I'll start talking.
It's not the same. Liverpool, it's midfield.
It's still Klopp. It's still Klopp is one of the best managers in the world. So you've got to give
them that respect. I give you that.
I'm backing Arsenal for the win. And the reason I say that, bro, another reason I say that is because if Arsenal beat Liverpool this weekend, and City beat Southampton, then we play Liverpool next weekend. We beat Liverpool and Arsenal beat Liverpool. Liverpool are done. They're out of the title race then. They're out. So then we have to worry about Arsenal, and I still believe Arsenal will fade. I don't think the squad's big enough. So I'm backing Arsenal for the win. Yes, that means they'll go top of the league, but you don't get a trophy for being top in October, bro.
Yeah, man. Big up, man. I think for me, with Arsenal, you know what I mean? Credit where it's due, they're winning their games and whatnot. I think the idea of bigger tests to come today, for me, I think it's one of the situations where if they don't get a win at the Emirates, I'd be disappointed, against a Liverpool team that's not firing all cylinders, that looks a bit vulnerable, that defensively they're not okay, their front three are not firing, Salah's not firing. There's a lot of situations where if I'm looking at Arteta and he has ambitions not to win the title, but to be improving, I think for me, I'd be disappointed if I don't get a win this weekend. I'd be disappointed if I was an Arsenal fan because I think momentum.
Bro, if they lose against Liverpool, man, I don't want to hear no one ever talk to me about Arsenal in this conversation again because then they've lost against United and they've lost against Liverpool. So, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to say? Yes, they beat Tottenham, but I don't think Tottenham were ever really fully in the conversation with Conte, too defensive of a coach. So it's a big week, man. Look, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird because I want Arsenal to win. I want Arsenal to win. But if they do win, then I might give them a little bit more respect and take them a little bit more seriously. But right now, It's too soon. It'll be 9 games in, and I still think that's way too soon.
What's the odds for Arsenal to win the league, by the way? What's the odds?
I still think you'll get good odds on it, man, because everyone's expecting the same thing. Everyone's just expecting Arsenal to do the Arsenal thing, which is at some point start losing loads of games in a row. Because that's what Arsenal do. And it's not a dig on Arsenal. Arsenal fans are in there saying, oh, this guy's hating on Arsenal. No, it's not. It's because that's what you've done for the last 3 or 4 years. That is the Arsenal way. Until you change that and prove to fans that you're no longer about that, then that's what we're going to say is going to happen, isn't it?
Premier League winner odds. I'm going to check it right now. So Man City are favourites, then it's Arsenal, then it's Liverpool.
What are Arsenal?
Let me check here. Arsenal are 15-2.
Right, okay. So they're still pretty decent odds to,
15-2 to win the league.
I'd still if so you tell me Liverpool are third favourites, I'd still be putting my money on Liverpool over Arsenal. I mean, I think City will win, and I think City will win the league quite comfortably this year. But if you had to back anyone, I'd still be backing Liverpool. Look, I know what people are saying in the chat about Liverpool look tired. They're not the same Liverpool. Fully agree. But at the end of the day, they still deserve the respect. They're not fully out of it yet. And whilst they're still in with a chance and they still have Klopp and they still have players like Salah and Diaz and that, I'm still putting my money on them over Arsenal. But look, this is what Arsenal have to deal with. We had to deal with it when we came through in 2010, 2011, 2012. You're the new boy to the block. I know they're not new, but they're not challenged for the league in a long time. They have to prove to people that they are serious. They are the real deal, and they've not done that yet.
Yeah. I think it's one of them. They've got excuse if they don't win, especially on this form from Liverpool. Yeah, I don't know. Liverpool just for me just look a bit like, I don't know, something's not clicking. Nunes is not scoring the goals he wants. He's not the main man right now. It's Firmino, it's Jota. You know what I mean? Salah needs to turn up as well. Salah's not turned up this season. You know what I mean?
Last season after AFCON, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
2022, he's not played in it. You know what I mean? Where has he been in 2022? He's not been playing for Liverpool, man, because the goals have dried up. They're fully dried up, man.
Contract, man. Since the contract, it's not been the same, man. Well, even before that, you would guess. You know what I mean? He wanted a contract. Yeah. Mane, I don't believe in the fact that Mane leaving is coincidental with Liverpool dropping. I think it's just I don't know. It's the end of the generation. It's the end of the cycle. Because in the day, Guardiola made an interview. I don't know if you've seen that interview with Rio Ferdinand. Did you see that interview with Rio Ferdinand?
About what was said, and I'll try.
He said something about the best teams in the world have to reproduce. And they have to keep going. They have to, every single time, be relentless in what they do. Did you see that?
I don't know, but it's true.
You have to reproduce teams. You have to refresh your squad. You have to keep going every single time. And that's what he said. And that's what Man City have done every season. With Liverpool, they haven't done that.
Well, I think Liverpool, I had an argument. Well, not an argument. I had a bit of a debate with a Liverpool fan in the summer on a Twitter space. And I said, one of their main issues, right, is that their midfield doesn't score enough goals, bro. Yeah. Fabinho doesn't score goals. Thiago doesn't get goals. And what you want, Henderson, Milner. I actually like Curtis Jones, the young lad, but he's still pretty young. Harvey Elliott's still pretty fresh as well. Man. Like, how in Liverpool not seeing in the summer that their midfield needs serious operation, bro? You know what I mean? They needed to make a big statement in the midfield. Instead, they didn't. They went and made a big statement with Darwin Núñez, who was a huge gamble. I want to say this, yeah. I've never said that Darwin Núñez is a bad player. What I said was it was a bad signing. It's a bad signing because of the price and the expectation that there was put on him. Look, bro, after the first couple of games, guy was getting cooked. Why? Because it's 80 million quid. That's what happened. Look at Haaland against Liverpool. Guy was getting slammed, mate. Yeah. Can he deal with the pressure?
Can he deal with the pressure?
I think what they should have done is, I don't think that they needed to sign an 80 million, 100 million pound striker. I don't think they did. I think they needed to get someone who knows where the back of the net is. Like an Ivan Toney, mate, 40, 50 million. I think that they could have dealt with him and then gone and bought a proper midfield. I think that they also need
midfielders as well. Like, they did, yeah. They want Jude Bellingham, but I'm sorry, man, they need more than Jude Bellingham. I think they need to replace Henderson. They need to replace Thiago. They need to replace Fabinho. I think Fabinho's on his last legs. I think maybe people have seen the best of Fabinho. He looks like he's 28, but he looks like he's playing like he's 36. Milner. So what would it be a safe investment for Liverpool to go and spend 120, 130 million on Jude Bellingham rather than go and get that money and spend it on 3 or 4 players in that midfield? That's what I would
so
think.
you're asking the Gareth Bale Tottenham driller. So when Tottenham sold Bale for what 100 million, whatever it was, they had a choice. Should we go and buy one, maybe two superstars, or should we go and buy 4 or 5 players for like 20, 30 million quid? And that's what they did. That didn't work. So Jude Bellingham is a brilliant footballer, but if you're telling me next season that all you're going to do is put Jude Bellingham in that midfield and you're not going to have anyone else, I don't know. I don't know if that's enough. Can they afford Jude Bellingham and another? Probably not. So it'd be another huge gamble. You're basically putting all your eggs on Jude Bellingham and saying, sort us out, and then we'll try and buy another one. And but I don't know, man. This is what they've done. They've sort of put themselves in this position, bro, by signing Darwin Núñez for 80 million. I don't think they should have done that, man.
And it's gonna have to work though. They're gonna have to find a way of getting to play better, because at the minute, I think Martial's got more goals than Núñez this season, and Martial's played less minutes, less games. I don't even think I made a bet with Grizz, by the way, yesterday. I said Martial will get more goals than Núñez this season. So we'll find out.
I think he will.
Hey? And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he will.
But you know why? I think
look at Statman Baines. Look at again. Núñez is not playing good this season. What are you talking about? Like, yes, he's got good movement, and yes, he's helping out in little games. But they brought him to score goals. They wanted him to make the impact.
Do you even think he suits them, bro? Do you even think he suits their style of football?
I don't know. At the minute, right now,
suit the style of football.
I think right now he's doing a few stuff that I think is going under the radar. He is providing a lot of movement. I watched him against what was the game that they played in the midweek. He did have a good game. I'm not gonna lie. He did score the goals, but he did have a good game. But again, it's about expectation. What do people expect from Núñez? Is it movement? Is it whatever? But not score the goals? Because as a striker, you are judged by scoring goals. Simple as that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if I was a Liverpool fan, I would have preferred, I don't know, a £50 million striker, someone even like a Tony, someone like that, and then gone and spent some money and got a midfielder in, because I think they're going to seriously struggle with the midfield, man, this season.
Yeah, and Liverpool don't play the way Guardiola plays, where Núñez can have 2 or 3 touches and score, all the goals. He's a different type of player, but again, it's one of those situations where we'll have to find out with his team, man. So
I back you on that bet, by the way. I think Martial will score more goals than Núñez this season, because as well, Núñez won't start every game because they've got Firmino, and all that. So if not saying necessarily Martial's a better player than Núñez, but I think Martial will start more games than Núñez.
Overall game,
I think he'll score.
What I mean? It's one of them, isn't it? Like it's about overall game. Núñez is a better finisher. I still like Martial's overall game compared to Núñez. I can't lie to you. Again, it's about in the.
Is that all comps or Prem only?
Sorry,
is that all comps or Prem only?
All comps. Yeah. No, actually, no. Even Premier League has got more goals. Remember, he scored 2.
No. I mean, the deal you've done with Grizz, is that all?
Oh yeah, all. Yeah, he will score all goals.
Right, well, that's a bit of an L for Grizz, because you're playing man like Sheriff and fucking Ammonia, in it. So, like, he'll probably score. Another 5 or 6
European nights, man. European pedigree nights, man. You know what I mean? We can win this Europa League, and you guys don't win a thingy. Then you know what I mean? All comps. No, I genuinely just said, yeah.
He's clever.
I think Martial will score more goals than Núñez this season. I didn't even say all comps or anything like that.
You need to get this established, bro. We can't have like an arbitration.
Well, I played you, innit? Yeah. I played you, bro. I played you. If you're watching right now, I played you.
I think you might get some backlash from Grizz on that one, bro.
Ammonia, man, scoring goals against Ammonia. You know what I mean? Only Martial could do that, man. I score Martial. You know what I mean? We're back, man. But nah, I think it's one of them situations where we just got to wait until when we see Núñez arrives. He might have a good World Cup and then come back to Liverpool, because I think this World Cup could be a building block for certain players, like to find form and then come back and then be a totally different animal. Like, it's going to be crazy, the amount of games that's going on right now. Players have to come out of form. They have to come into form, because if they don't, teams won't do anything. Like, looking at Tottenham right now, Son and Harry Kane need to perform for Tottenham to do well. If they don't, Tottenham are finished, because at the end of the day, they rely heavily on them 2 players.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Son, man. Son is a player that, unless you're an Arsenal fan, I think every single fan in the world loves Son, unless you're an Arsenal fan. And it's kind of mad just to see. I watched him against Arsenal when he was playing, and the guy couldn't even string a pass together, mate. I don't know what's happened to him. He's fell off.
You know what it is, yeah? I don't know. Like people were praising him last season. It just depends on what kind of what do you like about Son. I think for me, he's a clinical finisher. He's a live wire. You know what I mean? He presses, unbelievable pace. His overall game though, his actual dribbling skills and you know what I mean, that kind of side of the game, he's not well polished in that, is he? But in terms of the actual goal scoring attributes, you know what I mean? Let's be real. Like,
it's not the best dribbler in the world, but he's still a decent dribbler. You know what I mean? I still think he has. I don't know, bro. I just think that he's a top player. I think he just fell off. I don't know what's wrong.
World class finisher, and that's it. Bain says
there. Think harsh, man. I think you're being harsh. I think he's better than just a world class finisher. I think he has a lot more to his game than that.
What do you think his attributes then? I've named you his attributes. What do you think his attributes are? And let me know. Then we'll talk about it.
I think he is a good dribbler. You know what I mean? I think he is a good dribbler. I think he's a good wide player. I think he can play through the middle. I think he can link up play well. I think he can get in behind. He's got a good football brain. He is a great finisher as well. I just think he's a top player. But I think he's a world class footballer who's just going through a bit of a bad time, and I don't know really why.
I think you know what it is. It's just again, you know what I mean. He's been there for a while. You know, at Tottenham. You know, like you know. It's one of the situations now where have they got to think now past Son now? You know what I mean? Now, have to go and get the next Son. You know, but then he is for them though commercially. He's so important to Tottenham.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he's the kind of player. He'll be like the Ronaldo version of like you know how we have Ronaldo. We've like hold on to him and that like the commercial value of Tottenham. Yeah. Tottenham will hold on to him for as much as they want to. Like that's what they'll do because at the end of the day, he literally pays a lot of money for Tottenham in terms of commercial revenue, everything like that. He's signed a big contract as well just recently. So at the end of the day,
10 million.
Yeah, man, it's mad. It's mad. Let's touch on the relegation battle now. Have you changed your mind about the relegation battle? Because right now, right, it's crazy. They've given a new contract to Steve Cooper, which I'm just baffled. You know, I don't know what is going on with this Nottingham Forest. But is it a case of they deserve to be sacked now because they don't know what they're doing?
Nah, he doesn't deserve to be sacked, bro. At the end of the day, he had a tricky situation because I think when they got promoted, they had a lot of loan players, didn't they, and all that kind of stuff. So they had to completely, renovate the team, get a load of players in, which was always going to be tricky. I think this is I think this is a smart move if you are seriously backing him because it sends a message out to the players because there might be some players in there going, nah, I don't want this guy, you know what I mean, to start down tools. Well, you can't down tools now because he's just been given a new 3-year deal. Having said that, every time I've watched Nottingham Forest, they have been very, very sub par. Do you know what I mean? They look very poor. Seen him against West Ham I think it was the opening day of the season. Seen him in a game, I can't remember what game it was, and then I watched the Leicester game and they were absolutely awful. I mean, they had one chance in the whole game. Should have actually scored it, but they were very, very poor. Don't look like they're going to score any goals. So yeah, I'm still backing Forest to get relegated, and it's on a similar sort of style as the Arsenal thing, is because look at that form. Until you start showing me that you're going to get out of this, then I've got to back you to go down.
Let me check what I said on the Big Six here. Where did I put my relegation battle? I'm going to check now because here it is, yeah? So, I said Leicester, Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth would get relegated. That's what I said.
Bournemouth unbeaten in 4.
I know, man. Bournemouth
stinks, bro. But although they did get tanked off Liverpool, so that's a little bit. That doesn't really tell the full 5 truth.
5 points. Sorry, no, they're 3 points. But it's a problem though. Look at the relegation zone from 10th, all the way to 18th. There's only 4 points.
Yeah, I know. And if you look at some of them teams, Leicester, I still believe will get themselves out of this situation. I think they've got to use that.
Madison will drag them out.
And they've still got like the likes of Vardy and that, and I think they've got Ndidi in the middle who's a decent player. So they've got good players. I think they'll get themselves out of that. Wolves, it's a difficult one. They're difficult to score against. They've got a good defense, but they're also one of the worst teams going forward. Look at that, 3 goals in 8 matches.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe that. Honestly,
to fire in it. Like, they need Costa to start.
They're getting the manager soon. I think they're getting Lopetegui as
the
new manager. It's clear but favourite. But again, he got sacked by Sevilla. He's on a downward spiral. His head's not right. Why would you go and get Lopetegui? Yeah, he's a very, very established manager in the game. People know what he's about. But again, his Sevilla team, I mean, watch him this season. You beat them, absolutely thrashed them. But beat by Dortmund, he's on the downhill spiral. Why are you going for him?
That is a bit of a risky. You know what the thing is with Wolves though? Wolves have a brilliant team. They're just
Mate,
not good
unbelievable
at
team.
football. They're just not good at football. They're boring to watch. They don't score goals, and right now they deserve to be in the conversation. Palace, I think Palace are a good side, man, but ultimately they need to start getting their results. They're not getting their results. You know what I mean?
Should I tell you who's in trouble? I think low key wise, yeah. I think Southampton are in trouble, people.
I
I think
agree.
the young side, they got a naive team. They don't have a bit about them. I think for me, but I think it's not a bad thing if they get relegated because they've still got a young team that will stay together and then they'll come back up. I think it's one of them where it won't be the end of the world if they get relegated.
Yeah, but you say that, bro. You say that, but some of the players that they've got, will they want to play Championship football? You look at Lavia, bro. Lavia could walk into a lot of these teams, yeah, in the Premier League. So will they be able to keep hold of these players? I don't know if they will. But I agree with you. I think they're in serious trouble. On a real, right? We struggled against Southampton last year, 2 draws, and they really, really made us, real struggle through the games. They're a completely different side this year.
Yeah. They won't be able to play their players, isn't it? Oh, no, they will be able to play their players, actually.
They can, yeah. They've all signed, yeah. I genuinely think that there is a real possibility that City could embarrass Southampton tomorrow.
Mate, I think I'm going to go
believe that, you know.
I might just go for a 6-0 tomorrow. 6-0.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, if we drop points, whatever, people can come and clip it or whatever. I'm not saying it in that way. What I'm saying is, I'm saying it from a Southampton point of view. That I seriously worry for Southampton tomorrow, bro. The way City are playing, the way that they've got some injuries as well. Lavia's not in the team. Armstrong's out as well. They've got some other injuries. I seriously think that if City turn up tomorrow and get into second or third gear, then it could be a seriously rough day for Southampton, man.
Miles say, "Don't jinx it." Come on, man. That kind of mentality when you play Southampton at home, you're gonna do it well, man. I think it's just a young team, man. I think it's the young team. It's a bit of a naive team. The manager, I like him, but at the same time, has he took this team as far as he can? West Ham, they got their win. I think they should be climbing up. You know who I want to get low key get in this pile? I think Villa deserve to be low key, not relegated.
See Monday Night Football. Seen the Monday Night Football game?
What?
Aston Villa versus Forest.
Oh yeah, it was, bro.
Monday Night Football, Aston Villa versus Forest this Monday coming up. Aston Villa,
Forest,
mate. Steven Gerrard.
Win, you know. Forest might be going all gone Basin. You never know.
Big
game though. But for me, Villa have got an unbelievable team, yeah, and a squad. People don't if I could look, honestly, let me name you Villa squad, yeah. Aston Villa squad, yeah. Honestly, when I name you the squad, yeah, you're gonna be all like, wow, how is this team not playing better? Philippe Coutinho, Douglas Luiz, Emilio Martinez, Boubacar Kamara, Leon Bailey, Diego Carlos, obviously he's out injured, Tyrone Mings, Jacob Ramsey, Ashley Young, Matty Cash, Ollie Watkins, Benerick, Danny Ings, Leonardo Dendonco, John McGinn, Lucas Digne, Emmanuel Bondia, Morgan Sanson, bro,
yeah,
Conso.
But they've also got, bro, listen to this for an injury list: Kamara, Cash, Chambers, Bailey, Digne, Diego Carlos, all out injured, bro.
Oh, so they're all out injured. Yeah, man, get a better manager, man. I'm telling you now, get a better manager, and I'm telling you they'll be playing better football. That squad there for me is so bad to be where they are. How many points have they got on the board?
8.
8 points, you know. That is terrible, man. Terrible, man. Everton, for me, give props to them. I think they've done well. Look at that. Everton, yeah, are literally.
Yeah,
how are they 2 points behind us?
Well, they play you this weekend, innit?
Yeah, we've got a game in hand, though.
Fair play to Lampard, you know, because I actually thought that they should get rid of him in the summer. Because the reason I said that, I like Lampard, by the way. The reason I said it is I thought that basically because they were so close to getting relegated last season, I thought get a manager in who can just keep them safe and then try and build from that. And then because what happened is, they brought Lampard in to play nice football when they were in the real shit. So fair play, man. They held the nerve, and it seems to be paying off there, man. So GG's to the board and Lamps.
I think for me, a lot of people disrespected what Lampard's been doing over there. I think I've looked at him and I thought, you know what, man, he looks like a manager that's trying at least, man. That Gerrard he looks a bit lifeless, man. At least this guy is getting in there. He's trying to make something. He's making them difficult to beat. This Gerrard's been conceding goals. They're not scoring enough goals. You know, if you look at what they've done now in terms of the team, they've got a good midfield. I'm actually worried about their midfield because they've got Garner, Gay, Onana and Iwobi. It's a little bit of a powerful midfielder. So you never know, man. You just never know what can happen in that area. Brighton, for me, Brighton against Tottenham. Honestly, if Brighton win here, honestly, I'm tired, man, because they need to just fall back now. I'm tired of Brighton now. But you know what?
They're the West Ham of last season, isn't it? West Ham was slamming it last season. They was up in the top 4 and that. They are basically the West Ham this year, but they're playing some cracking football. I really enjoy watching Brighton, and that's, you know what? It's one of that. I know you don't know this because you're going for the top 4, isn't it? But you know, for the neutral, we're kind of backing Brighton to see what they can do. West Ham almost did it and then just sort of fell off in the final third of the season. Yeah. Can Brighton stick up there? They got a good team.
We'll see, man. We'll see. But I think that one, hopefully, you know what I mean, let's get a draw in there. Even though, to be fair, though, you should be really looking at results right now and thinking, oh, who should drop points? Let's see what happens in it, and let's see who's the survival of the fittest in it. You know what I mean? But listen, big up to everybody who's been in here. Like I said, Manc Talk, we're live. We're going to see how it goes and whatnot. And big up to everybody who's tuning in. People want it to be a bit more interactive. Big up the chat, man. You guys are legends, man. Make sure you like the video, though, people. There's over 600 who's still in the chat, man. Hit that like button. It's free to do. Helps the algorithm, especially when now it's crazy, the algorithm at the minute, man. It's all mad, mate. So
chat's been sick today, man. I've enjoyed.
Yeah, man. Good chat, man.
Good debates, isn't it? So
man.
GGs.
100%, man. 100%. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good chat, good community. I try not to be biased most of the time, but I try, you know, make it a bit fair and whatnot in my judgment. So yeah, man. Big up to everybody. Lewis, let them know, man. What are you doing? Anything you doing after this, or you just chilling?
Yeah, obviously we've got a big game tomorrow, man. So we're doing a watch along for the Southampton game. Hopefully City can get the points, and then we go temporarily top. And all the City content and that get to City extra. Try and get us, if you know what I mean. How many people got in the stream now, bro?
600, man.
I reckon, like, if 100 people, man, go smash a subscribe on our channel. Get us closer to 65k, man. Appreciate it. Help the guys, innit? So yeah.
There you go, man. And all you got to do is just hit the link on the title, and it should take you there without even going off this channel. So big up to everybody here. Leave a like on the video. I'll be back tomorrow for the preview for the game against Everton, for the debate show. But other than that, people, enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.